Ready download this already? Ready.
Okay. Education system
அம்மா என்ன வேணும்? பயம்லாம் இல்லம்மா, ஒன்னும் பயம் இல்ல. என்ன பயம்?
चेन्नई मधले आहे का त्याच्यामध्ये
नवपुते सर नमस्कार, वेलकम. ठीक आहे, आता काय ते चालू राहते.
नमस्कार.
Good evening, sir.
அப்படியா ஆமா ஆமா இல்ல ஹோஸ்டுக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே போகும் எவ்ரிவன் ஹாஸ்ட் இருப்பாங்க அவங்களுக்கு எல்லாமே போகும் சென்ட் டு எவ்ரிவன்னா எல்லா பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ்க்கு போகும் பட் நான் பிரைவேட் சென்ட் பண்ணா அந்த ஹோஸ்டுக்கு போகும் मिस तुला होस्ट आहे
तू बी चांगला बनवू शकतो फक्त तूप टाक एवढी
सांग मला काय बनवू आता नाही मसाले भात नाही सांग वरण आहे मग आमचं पोळ्या टाकू का गरम हा सांग ना
श्रुती वर काढ की बेटा तू काढ की बेटा जेवले मी कधी जेवली मध्ये येते
Sai, are you listening? Sai?
Yes.
Hello. Can you mute all, please?
Anand, please mute your all.
Anand.
Sai, can we start? Because I think they are keeping the others in the meeting room. Anand, can you unmute Sai and Mr. Nandakumar, please?
Yes, done.
Sai, could you say when we could start? Because they are keeping the others in the meeting room. It will take some time for them to join. The YouTube live has been sent to you. I hope you have sent it
I've
to.
sent it to Mr. Nandakumar.
Very good. So we've got a good participation. Should we start? If you say okay, we are ready.
Mr. Nandakumar, can we start?
I think you have to unmute him.
Anand, can you unmute?
Anand, could you please unmute Nandakumar, sir?
Yeah. Now I've been unmuted. I can.
Very good.
Yeah, I've sent you the YouTube link.
YouTube link. Okay. And this
Yes,
number is not crossing 100. So are you sure it is for 1000? This Zoom number?
Yeah. They are working on that. They've got the others on the meeting room, Mr. Nandakumar. So
Okay.
it should be live immediately through the other meeting rooms. So this has got a technical thing where it's not moving beyond 100, but the rest will immediately join in now. The people are working on that. It should be solved.
Okay. I'll send the YouTube link to the people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So shall we start?
Yes, sir. We are just waiting for the signal from you. Good evening, everybody. I hereby call the 10th meeting of Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy to order. My warm welcome to all the friends of Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy, a club which is around for 18 years here for the benefit of the people who are from other parts of India. A small brief about Chennai Galaxy is we are largely into the education. We have 3 schools which have been adopted and continuously monitored by us in person. We have programs for the teachers' encouragement, the students, and then we talk about the menstrual hygiene for the female students, which is taken care by our ladies. And the most important is we run a quiz for 1,500 people every year. And this year we are taking it to 3,000 people and making it pan-India. It's all about science talent, and we like to encourage the science talents in India by the students. These are the few basic objectives which Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy is committed to literacy. We come from a Rotary district called RI 3232, and today's event or the speaker, the special person of the evening, is here with us on the 7th pillar of Rotary International, which is the peace and conflict prevention. So we are here to create peace, which we believe literacy and education is the basic means of achieving peace among the communities. So over to a brief. We are very proud that we've got the support of our Rotary president here, Santosh, Rotary Club of Spectrum, and we do also have the oldest Rotary Club of Madras, which is crossed 95 years, Rotary Club of Madras, which has 15 schools and 10 Rotaracts under it. And this club was instrumental in giving the pride of Rotary worldwide. For India, they started the polio prevention. The first polio medicine vaccine was given here in Madras by Rotary Club of Madras. And the person who did it was Chris Chitley, who is none other than the father of the current president. So we're proud to have the people from Rotary Club of Madras also here tonight with us. And the most important person, our chief guest of the evening, our dear Nandakumar IAS, the Principal Secretary, Government of Maharashtra. We welcome you, sir. And we would like to request our past president, who was instrumental behind this meeting, Rotarian PHF, Sai Sudhakar, to please introduce the chief guest.
Thank you, Giri. Mr. Nandakumar IAS Maharashtra is a unique personality who has made himself a. He has been serving this 20 years. He served in the beginning from 7 to 2010 at Chhattisgarh. The director and direct adult education from 2005. And he was directly responsible for providing primary education to 23 million children across 1,11,000 schools, served by 7,25,000 teachers during the period 2015 to 2018. He was instrumental in establishing the Maharashtra International Education Board, which has become a proven instrument of change in the quality of education in the state. He worked with UNICEF for 4.5 years, handling primary education in Yavatmal and Chandrapur in Maharashtra between 1997 to 2001. Putting in persistent efforts, Mr. Nandakumar had succeeded in bringing about a dramatic change in the quality of education in the government schools in Maharashtra, as reported by the independent surveys carried out by third parties like ASA. Maharashtra stood first in government schools grade 3 reading skill in the whole country. It has become the only state where government schools did better than the private on almost all indicators for the first time in the history of India. As a result, there is a reversal trend in the migration of students from earlier government to private schools. Initially, it was from government, people were migrating to the private schools, but now from private, they have started joining the government schools. In both language and maths, improvement at grade 5 level, Maharashtra has scored highest in the country, and at grade 8, it was the second highest. On international front, he has succeeded making at least one Marathi medium school a remarkable success as a pilot. This school finishes its syllabus in 3 months. Then the students learn about what lies in future technology. Its best performing school in Pune district, students speaking English. He is now working on replicating this model in different parts of the country through a group of teachers called Ved Group and officers who make themselves responsible for improving quality in government run schools. He was nominated member of the National Committee for Formulation of National Curriculum Framework for Adult Literacy. For promoting reading habits in adults in Chhattisgarh, a book reading campaign which author of the book, student of education system worldwide, study tour of to Australia, New Zealand, UK, US, Israel, China, South Korea, and Singapore. He mentors young non-profit organizations in the education sector and serves on Advisory Council of Leadership for Quality, a non-profit organization. He is currently engaged in exploring whether the strategy that has proved so efficacious in Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh can be applied to the whole country. Now, I take pride in telling you that this is where I am trying to get involved with Mr. Nandakumar to see if we can transform the government schools in Tamil Nadu, at least for a beginning, with a small number of schools. With this, I present you Mr. Nandakumar to take us forward in this evening.
Thank you.
Over to Mr. Nandakumar.
Thank you, and good evening to all of you, the Rotary Club Galaxy of Chennai. I'm very happy to hear a lot of yeoman service you are doing to the society. And I'm glad to be part of this August gathering. In a way, people from at least 3 states have joined here: Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, and Maharashtra. And we met one of our friends from US also. So I'm very happy. I've been talking about national policy on education in Marathi and Hindi, and this is for the first time I'm communicating in English. So I'm really glad, and thanks for inviting me. So what this national education policy says, how is it different than the earlier policies? So these are the things which we will discuss. Initially, maybe I will speak for 15-20 minutes, and then we'll take questions. So actually, immediately after the Constitution was enacted and implemented in the year 1950, in that Constitution, it was written that within 10 years, every child in the country will attend primary education. So that ended in 1960. It did not happen. And then we got Kothari Commission, and those commissions were considered as national policy of education. Till 1985, we really did not have any policy in the name of national policy of education. So in 1985, for the first time, India had that, and then it was revised in 1992. And then along with that, Government of India and the whole country got up with district primary education project in the districts which were really not able to do good. And that graduated into Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan in the year 2000. And for 10 years, we implemented Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan before we got Right to Education Act. All those things happened, and last 10 years, we've been implementing Right to Education Act. And a learning level, as per the ASSAR report, is even after studying for 5 years in schools, half of the children in this country are not able to read. So things are not really good. So after 1985, this is new education policy. When we have got after 34 years in this, India, our country, aspires to achieve certain milestones. One of the milestones which it aspires to do immediately is within 5 years, every child in this country should be able to do basic arithmetic and language learning, which is reading of grade 2 level textbook. So year is also mentioned in that, and officers and people in Government of India are really working very hard for that. Because why I'm saying this is policies are enacted, and there are many people who may not be aware how much policies are powerful as compared to the act. So actually, policies are in a way statement of intent. It cannot be enforced by any court of law. So in that sense, policy doesn't mean much unless clear government orders are issued, acts are enacted, if acts are required. Mostly acts are not required if we don't want to penalize anyone, any citizen of this country. Then acts are not required. It can be implemented by the executives, that is government. So unless the orders are issued, this policy is nothing but a piece of paper. So that we will see in the coming years, coming months, coming days. But what has happened, very good thing is, Government of India issued 102 questionnaire, questionnaire having 102 questions, and it sought opinion, suggestions from the people of the country for effective implementation of this national education policy. And in our Ved group in Maharashtra, we had very extensive discussion on that, how it can be implemented in a very effective manner. So as in my introduction, Mr. Sai said, in Maharashtra, we did a lot of work, and during 4 years of my tenure in Maharashtra, actually government schools surpassed private schools. This is ASAR report. And we stood at the top of all other states in the improvement. So actually a lot of things in this national education policy has been taken from the experiences of Maharashtra. So we know why these policies have been written like this, because it has already happened. It has happened in Maharashtra, and because Maharashtra being part of India, if it can happen in one part of India, it can happen everywhere in India. So that is the biggest advantage of this policy document, that it has already happened. What has happened is every child can learn, and they can learn without fail. However, national education policy is talking about tests of grade 3, grade 5 and grade 8 children, which was not part of Right to Education Act, which was enacted in the year 2010, although it was amended somewhere in the year 2018, so that at the grade 5 level and grade 8 level, children were allowed to fail. Before that, up to grade 8, children were not allowed to fail, and it was all over the country, it was considered that this act was allowing the children to pass all these grades without learning. Actually, giving 8 years for learning these elementary things is enough of wastage of our children's lives. If proper pedagogies are followed in the schools, in the classrooms, then it is, as Mr. Sai said in my introduction, every year syllabus children finish in 3 to 4 months. It doesn't require 1 year also. So pedagogy was not understood by the people. In Maharashtra, teachers were able to innovate and understand that pedagogy, and now we are going much faster than. It's not only within 1 year every child can learn, but they can learn in 1/3 or 1/4 of the time. So that kind of innovation is going on, and I'm sure teachers all over the country can innovate that, and that's why we want to work with teachers, and particularly government teachers. Why I'm saying so is the children who are studying in private schools, parents pay at least some amount, maybe minuscule amount, but they pay. Parents pay for something. Any human being pays for something. They ask for certain level of services. But in government schools, parents don't pay, and so their expectations are much high, not much high. And if government schools can also perform, then there will be very healthy competition between public and private schools, and that will lift the whole quality of education all over the country very soon. So that is why innovation is required, and it is required much more in government schools and in private schools. And that is why Maharashtra teachers have done it. Chhattisgarh teachers are doing it in big way. We entered UP last week, and we will enter almost all Hindi-speaking state very quickly. And we want to enter the best entry point would be Tamil Nadu, because most of the people with whom we are working, other than Sai, nobody understands Tamil. So next time when I speak to you, I would like to speak in Tamil with you, And so I know only one word, Vanakkam. So, so that we will do. So why? What are the provisions which are put in the national education policy which succeeded in Maharashtra is early childhood education. Uh, uh, Children go to Anganwadis, but Anganwadis have been centers for all vaccination and supplementary nutrition, etc. So it has been part of the 6 services of early childhood care and education, but that did not get prominence in the previous years in the history of Anganwadis. This national education policy is saying that Anganwadi workers will be trained, and good for our country that the Zooms and YouTube, Facebook Lives are available. So training Anganwadi workers will not be that big task as compared to earlier. And because of Corona, we are getting habituated to these technologies. So these things are beneficial for the country, and implementation of national education policy will become much easier as compared to other earlier education policies. So all Anganwadi workers will be trained. That is in early childhood education, and efforts will be made to co-locate schools and Anganwadis. And if that is not possible, then whatever standalone are running now, they will run. But 5 to 6 years age children, just before 1 year before entering the grade 1, they will be given special early childhood education so that they don't lag behind in reading and basic numeracy, FN, what is called is FLN, foundational language and numeracy. So that has been taken care of in this national education policy. And grade 1 and 2, that time also, at that age also, grade year 7 and 8 of age of the children, they are still tender. So uh, they should not be facing the onslaught of the school pedagogy, the kind of the way teachers teach. And that is why 3 to 6 age and 7, 8 years. So this age, 5 years have been considered as early childhood education. Grade 3 to grade 5 has been considered as primary education. Grade 6 to 8 upper primary, and 9 to 12 are combined now. Earlier it used to be secondary and higher secondary. All four together are considered in this national education policy. That will help the country providing a good number of special subject experts in high and higher secondary school when they are together. Earlier, because of the paucity of fund, we could not. I have served as Secretary of Education in Chhattisgarh as well as in Maharashtra, total 6.5 years. So we found it difficult to provide so many teachers for small number of children in high school and higher secondary school when they stood alone. So 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, this is new structure compared to earlier 10 plus 2. So this is a very big change, big shift in the new education policy. But then training of Anganwadi workers, etc. About language, because our friends from Tamil Nadu are here, so a lot of different feeling about Hindi, etc. So policy mentions about mother tongue language, and all English medium schools, they also got confused in the beginning that where they going to all the English medium was going to be closed or what. So that is not the intention in the policy, but children should learn in mother tongue. That is part of Right to Education Act also, and it is beneficial for the children. And Sai has sent me a list of questions. In that, one participant has asked that if parents speak in 2 different languages, then what is mother tongue? So children actually don't enter into that nitty-gritty. Governments and adults enter into that. Children learn both the languages. Actually, children learn 5, 6 languages, and we know of a case in Maharashtra where a person, a woman speaking one language, married to another man who speaks another language. They loved each other, but they did not learn each other's language, and they communicated with each other in 3rd language. Then they had a child. That child learned both mother and father's language in the 3rd language. And now that child is teaching mother's language to the father and father's language to the mother. So, so children don't have that problem. That is, so children can learn any number of 5, 6 languages at that age. Only thing is they should get exposure. Why is the pain of not able to learn English in India is they don't get exposure to English. That is the problem. And that problem also we are solving in Ved group. Currently, Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh teachers combined together are teaching Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh students who have already finished their syllabus during lockdown. So that is going on. So who are these children who have finished their syllabus during lockdown? The lockdown. Now we are in the unlocking process. Within first 75 days of lockdown, these children finish their syllabus. So these children are better off in not economically, not parents money wise, but they are good academically. So this has also been mentioned in the national education policy that gifted and talented children will be given special facility. So our Ved group or these two states of new movement, I will say. But the point has been taken from here in the national education policy that gifted and talented children will be given a special care. So these children have learned, finished their syllabus, and now they are learning spoken English. Two state children together, teacher together. So that is happening. Wabrewadi spoke about their children learned Japanese. That's what Sunil Jogdevji was able to do it in Gadiwat, another school where children learned Japanese. Now they are going into learning for German. So learning speed of children don't have any limit. The limitations were in the form of the structures of the schools and the knowledge of the teacher. But with the advent of technology, children can learn a lot of things from YouTube. A lot of things can be communicated with them through Zoom and Google Meet and the WebEx, etc. So teacher from any corner of the country or from the world can teach children in any corner of the country or the world. That has started happening. And that is why children never had any limitation. Whatever limitation had was in the adults and teachers and the system. So that is sought to be broken in this national education policy. And they are saying that peer tutoring will be also allowed. So children will learn children. So which is what we are already implementing in the name of peer learning, group learning, and subject friends. So those things already going on in Maharashtra. We are already succeeding. That has been incorporated in the national policy of education, and because it's already happening and a lot of great happening. So if the whole country starts looking at it in proper thought process, many times people get ego that if we could not do, they can also not do it. So without thinking about that, so national policy education is talking a lot of forward-looking things, which has started happening in a small way as of now. Once everybody starts looking at it positively, the whole country will uplift its quality of education to the internationally based. Now, this word I have chosen and we are using it. Once children finish the syllabus in 3-4 months, then they have a lot of time left. In that, they learned robotics, computer programming, foreign languages, other languages. Till now, our India children were not able to learn South Indian languages from North Indian states. So this multilingualism has also been brought in as part of the national education policy. And in coming years, in Maharashtra also, in Chhattisgarh, we will see that a lot of children have learned Tamil or Telugu or Malayalam. So Kannada, all those things will start happening. So it is part of national education policy. Because of the technology also it is happening. So a lot of things have come together and we are implementing it in rural mother tongue medium schools and in children. So these things have become part of national education policy. For evaluating the children, assessment part, India has not been doing. Actually, India did not do much on that. So ASAR is an NGO, Pratham NGO, which is implements it. Government of India never had proper assessment system. 2 years back, they started the National Achievement Survey for all the children. Yeah, they had on sample basis, cycle 1, cycle 2, it went on, but people never understood it, what it meant. But internationally we have got PISA, Program for International Student Assessment, and in that they keep ranking the countries also. So basically we had two assessment, ASAR and PISA. NAS is very recent one, but this time around in the National Education Policy, Government of India is talking about Parag, an organization, separate organization will be created, and they will go on generating the best assessment method for the children. It will also reduce the importance of the grade 10 marks and grade 12 marks that is spoken very well detailed in National Education Policy, because grade 10 and grade 12 got a lot of importance and in the minds of the parents and in the minds of the children. But finally, it was not giving any benefit, because for the JEE or different test. So this National Education Policy, National uh, Talent Assessment. So that is another body will be there. They will be conducting. So that will reduce the importance of the board exams, and that is why a lot of tension from the children's mind will go away. Then children will be free to learn various other things, and which has started happening in Maharashtra. It will start happening in all over the country. So those are the benefits, and while learning all these things, in Maharashtra now we have started promoting learning high quality agriculture. So at least 50% or 60-70% of the children's parents in rural area are farmers. They should learn whatever their fathers, their parents do. At least that vocation they should know. So they will know agriculture, and this has also become part of the National Education Policy. So it's not talking specifically about national agriculture, but it's talking about carpentry, painting, and other things. Whatever parents are doing, music, dance, whatever. So in that way, vocational education will enter the schools. Every child will be exposed to a lot of vocational things, and they will be trained in at least one vocation in right level from grade 6 onward. Then there is interchangeability. Earlier it used to happen that the children who are doing good academically, they will not learn any vocation. Now children will learn vocation as well as they will be good in subjects. And if some children are finding it difficult in the subject at certain level, then they will learn vocation, they will start doing something, and later on they can enter the formal education again. So that stigma around the vocational things is sought to be done away with from the minds of the people. So all these things are the new things or different things which were not there in the earlier National Education Policy, and we are quite hopeful that this will benefit the country a lot, and we should be able to provide internationally based education, which we have started with our Ved group teachers. All government teachers have started doing it. And the National Education Policy talks a lot about global things. In its preamble, only 3 times global word has come. Actually, this is India is a country of the young people, and all other countries, including China, is now aging. So they don't have a lot of young people, and they need people to service their old citizens. It looks as if they don't want to employ Indian engineers, etc., in England and US. It looks that way, but slowly they have to do away with it. They have to employ people from any educated country. So if we are able to really provide high quality education, the children who are accepted globally, that is where the 6 C's. 6 C's are critical thinking, collaborative thinking, creative thinking, communication, confidence, and compassion. If we are able to provide that, and which Ved group are doing, then these children will be employable all over the world, and they will be able to do business all over the world, and the whole world needs people at this juncture, and only India has got this kind of young population, and India through this education policy can educate its children to the highest level in the world of any level, America, England, Finland, Switzerland, China, Japan, or South Korea, Singapore. So we are quite poised at it. We are at the cusp of that change, and national education policies recognizing all those changes. So I think I will make this much point only, and now we can uh, go to the next session. Sai, over to you. Any questions? Any comments? We can start discussing. Thank you very much.
I had sent a list of questions.
Yeah.
Can we start with that? Can we start with that? While till the others ask questions, can we start with that?
You want me to read those questions and answer?
Yeah, that would be better, Mr. Nandakumar, because once we have to coordinate with a larger crowd, and most of them in YouTube will be able to hear what they've asked the questions earlier.
Sure.
So initially, we were not able to get this out.
Okay, so I have got 27 questions, and I hope many of them I have answered. The questions which are left, that I will try to answer. The first question is, how will the government address the issue of retraining or reskilling? So I think this question is about the teachers, retraining and reskilling of the teachers. So as I said in my presentation, that government is seeking suggestions and comments from all over the country, and we have given them comment that we are training in this manner. So we are training our teachers on even constructivism, which is called Gyan Rachanavad in Marathi and Hindi. So last week till yesterday, there was a training going on constructivism. Our best performer in Maharashtra was training the teachers in Chhattisgarh. So Chhattisgarh teachers have been employed there for 20-25 years, and still they are taking that training. And at this level, governments are not involved. National education policy is written there, governments are there, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, and still training is going on without the government. So once government gets involved, a lot of things can happen. If it can happen without the government, certainly it can happen. So retraining, reskilling, the only thing is the quality of the training has to be great. We have got that, but with various national and state level institutions, the problem is the people who keep talking without doing. So that is a big change in the paradigm now, because if children or people or teacher can see the videos in the YouTube, so they are not totally dependent on National Council of Educational Research and Training, NCRT or SCRT. So actually these institutions need to upgrade themselves. So what we have been doing is, the teacher who are really able to perform in the school, they have been able to give high quality education to children. They train other teachers. And they are training all the teachers all over the country. So 3-4 states we already started. So the doers are the talkers, not the only talkers are the talkers. So it is possible teachers have been rejecting all this training mainly because it was not benefiting in the classroom. The teacher who have already experimented and experienced the benefit of certain ideas, constructivism or whatever, integrated learning, all those things, when these teachers talk, other teachers listen. So that is not a big issue, but governments need to learn from the field. They cannot only depend on, say, NCRT or SCRT. So that is the new thing which will happen. Second question is, where does this stand for the rural student? So yesterday only we had a presentation of Dantewada district, which is LWE affected district in the southern part of Chhattisgarh. And after listening to them, this is the totally forested district, Naxal area. A lot of villages don't have connectivity, network connectivity proper, road connectivity proper. In those districts, a lot of things are happening, and teachers were talking with so much enthusiasm. Even Maharashtra government teachers in tribal department, they stood up and listened to it, and I got a request that, sir, we need to have a 3, 4, 5 hours discussion with them, how they are able to do it. So it is possible. It can be done. And like I said, subject friend. So if there is no network, then first thing is if all children are not able to learn at the same pace, then some children learn. Of course, there are always 5% of the children will always be super intelligent in any community, in any geographical area. So those children learn first, and that has been pointed out as gifted and talented children. Those children learn first, and then they teach other children through subject and group learning. So in rural area also it is happening that way. Some parents may not have mobile, so other children. So whatever number of parents have got mobile, children of these parents become mobile friend of other children, and that is how they learn. So it is that thought of a great divide of rural and urban is in our mind. Actually, I find that the children in the slums of Mumbai are much more deprived than the even tribal area. These children don't have even space to sit and study. That problem tribal children don't have. Once they get some kind of tablet, and there are teachers who were able to motivate the parents to buy tablets for their children. I won't say that every parent should buy a tablet, but if 10 parents can come together, 5 parents can come together and they buy tablet, then those 5-10 children through this group learning, etc., they will take and they will learn. Even if that village doesn't have network, then teacher, it's good that our teachers don't live at headquarters. So they live at the place where there are network. Or every teacher lives at the place where there are networks. So they will upload the contents in these tablets and give to the village for 1 week or 15 days, and then they will come back again upload. So that thing can happen. So we have designed program for even rural children. So,
Sir, one question.
yeah, please.
Sir, now you said that in Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh, you are finishing the syllabus in 3 months.
Sorry?
You are finishing the syllabus in 3 months.
Yeah, they are finishing.
Okay.
Yeah, they are
Okay.
finishing.
Now, NEP says the syllabus can be finished in 5 months.
NEP is not talking about the syllabus.
About 5 months.
1 year. Yeah, 1 year.
1 year, but it can be finished in 5 years, and then rest of the period. That is what a part of NEP also says. Okay. Now, what we actually find nowadays is that only 75 to 80% of the syllabus is completed in the schools. Now, how is the motivation going to come for them to compress the study?
Actually,
and how are you motivating? How are you motivating?
Yeah.
That is more.
This is a very good question, Sai. Our biggest problem is adults are not able to believe that children can learn by themselves. In education science, I have done B.Ed also. In education science, a lot of education scientists have said that human beings learn by themselves. So our first, when we start training of 2 hours every day for 6 days, our online training, first one full session is spent on this, that children can learn by themselves. There are a lot of work given to the teachers, that please identify in your life what has been taught in the school, what has been taught in the college, and what you have done by yourself or from the society or from the family. And once teachers realize that even if teacher spoke, it's not that the teacher learned. Even if teacher taught, it's not that the children learn, because teacher teaches the same thing and all children don't learn in the same speed in that classroom also. So once teacher realize that it is all human being, only they learn, not nobody else teaches, then they become motivated. But and you are right, this is the most difficult task to convince the teacher that, because so and teacher think that even after me teaching, children are not learning, how will they learn by themselves? Actually, because you are teaching, children are not learning, please stop reading. That happens that way.
Okay.
With your permission, Sai, Nandakumarji, would you like to take few questions in the chat box? There people are trying to get a lot of questions. Would you be interested to take it?
Yeah.
Okay. I have one from Rashmi Gupta. She's asking, when will the NEP be implemented and what are the timelines?
NEP has actually implementation of NEP has already begun. And there are various timelines given, and the finishing line is 2040, which is quite far away. But what NEP is saying is that in first 5 years, up to year 2025, every child in this country up to grade 3 level will be able to read the grade 2 textbook, and they will be able to do basic numeracy. By and that is they are talking about 100%. They are also talking about by 2030 they will achieve the 100% GER, gross enrollment ratio. So various timelines are given, but this is the best part because Peru, another country in I think South America, once they did this FLN part, foundational literacy and numeracy, in the next next 3-4 years when PISA happened, Program for International Student Assessment, that country jumped many notches in that exam. And PISA, mind you, is the most difficult exam in this country for grade 10 level children. So our country has now decided to do it in 5 years. So that kind of timelines are mentioned in the policy, and it has started happening.
Yeah, thank you. One more. This is from a very interesting, very young student. Nivedita wants to know what way will the NEP help me when I do my 10th standard in 2021-2022?
This is very difficult question. I don't think in next 1 year it will impact so much the board exam, because boards have been with us for so long. They will not be killed, but they will be weakened. But it will be slow and prolonged process. It won't happen in 1 year.
Excellent. Yeah, because I see that we do have questions even from quite a lot of 8th standard students are here. Now we have a question from Prakash Shela, who's been all the way from US. He's asking about is there any significant advantage in making the system 5 + 3 + 3 + 2? And is it a education progression which we are looking at?
Yeah, I spoke in quite some detail about it. It is 5 + 3 + 3 + 4.
Okay.
I explained it that grade 3 years onwards. So 3 to 6 age group currently is part of Anganwadi, Early Childhood Education Center, and grade 1 and 2, which are part of the primary schools. These two things, age 3 to age 8, will be considered as early childhood education. Considered, they will not start sitting in one building. But then pedagogy will change for grade 1 and 2 children, and it will also change for grade 3 to 6 age group children. That is how it will really benefit the country a lot. Earlier, I don't know why we continued for so long in this manner. That will benefit. And next +3 is grade 6 to 8. It won't have, grade 3 to 5. It won't have much of changes. Next 3 is grade 6 to 8. It won't have much of changes. Then next is not 2, 4. Grade 9 to 12. That will see a lot of change because 9 to 12th standard, 4 classes children will be in one school, and they will get benefit of the subject experts, maths, physics, chemistry. Government will be able to provide separate teachers for all these subjects, and that will be the biggest benefit for the children.
Thank you, sir. And we have one more from Maithili AK. In this context, she would like to know, is there any plan to include the retired teachers?
Any plan to include?
The retired teachers, the teachers who are already retired from service.
Actually, NEP talks about involving everybody, a cadre of volunteers, etc. It doesn't talk specifically about retired teachers, but everybody is welcome, whoever can help. That is what is the tone of the NEP. It starts from the peer tutoring. So within the class also children will help, parents will help. Then parents' skills. They are talking specifically about the vocational skills of carpentry and blacksmithy or masonry, all those things. Agriculture, we have started talking. So as part of that, anybody who knows how to read should teach reading to the children. Anybody knows how to solve mathematical problems should teach mathematics to the children. So retired teachers are included in that manner, but it's not specifically mentioned. And I don't think any of these category will be paid any money from the government office.
Thank you, sir. One from Anuradha NC. She's asking about, like we have the IAS officer for administration. The quality of, yeah.
Yeah, I read that question
Okay.
from the chat box. Yeah,
Okay,
I read that.
you can go ahead, sir, since you have.
Yeah. So one thing to Anuradha ji, that thank you that you are so much respectful of IAS. You are saying that IAS have done probably good job for the country, and that is why you are expecting IES, Indian Education Service, in parallel to IAS. But that thought is not part of NEP, and I have been involved in education field for last 26 years, and I have not found any discussion on it. So I won't be able to comment on it without having any background discussion. Giving just opinion from the air will not be good for me. Thank
Fine. Sai, any more questions from your side from the private? Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Yes,
I
Sai,
just
it's your
wanted to
time.
add one point, Giri.
Yeah.
Maithili had asked regarding the right. Even in the first 5 years of the central government, years to come forward,
I am not able
and that program has been a very big success, even up to Karnataka.
which program, sir? Maithili, I cannot see the question on the chat box.
Okay,
Maithili,
I'll talk later. You carry on.
Yeah, please.
No, it is. Read out the question, Giri. Next question.
Yeah, you're talking about
Yeah.
Anuradhaji's question.
Now,
right?
no, Maithili's question. I can read it now.
Yeah.
Sir, my suggestion is that some retired teachers who are still in touch with the subject and coaching
can come into the picture.
Yeah. So they can come into the picture. Only this policy doesn't mention anything very specifically about it. That is the only thing. But everybody is welcome. That is the tone of the policy. Everybody is welcome. Every Indian, anybody who can help, they are welcome.
So we'll just take this one last question, Nandakumarji. This is from our district officer, Rotarian J.S. Satya, who's into addiction and prevention. So in rural areas with the network services improved, so that the education can reach remote areas, which means, does the NEP also talk about the network services reaching our rural India? I think that's the question which is posted.
Yeah, I can understand that. NEP is not talking about that, but then there are separate policy for our all telecom services, and that policy is talking about it. And there is actually that is ongoing work in Maharashtra. Also, every Gram Panchayat they are trying to reach. That project is little bit delayed. By now, they must have reached it, but in next 2-3 years, they will reach every village. That network will improve, but it is not part of the NEP. Separate.
Yeah. Sai, would you like to take some more, or we can close with this?
No, you ask Mr. Nandakumar.
Yeah, Nandakumarji, would you like to take some direct questions from the audience, or I think we have answered most of the questions people have. Everybody have access to the chat.
Mr. Sarvanan has said that, sir, you have missed some questions. So if Mr. Sarvanan can point, a lot of questions are there in my list. I answered only 2 of them. So
Maithili wants to talk.
Yeah, she wants to talk. Yeah.
Maithili, you can come on. Anand,
Okay.
kindly mute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Maithili.
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay, I am a retired teacher from Padma Seshadri schools, and I hold an experience of 45 years. It is not for any money that I am telling. The teachers with lot of experience have been exposed to generations of student populations. So the subject matter wise, they will be definitely an edge, or they will have an edge over the new incoming teachers, fresh teachers. The fresh teachers have a problem of the subject not being very strongly driven into their head. They have, after all, finished their graduation and they have come to teaching. And when challenging questions are thrown by young students who are very brilliant, as you sir, as said, sir, now, the present day children have a very lot of IQ and very inquiring thing. They are exposed to all sorts of Google and other things. So they have 1,001 questions which the teachers have not been exposed to. So they find it difficult. I had this difficulty in the beginning, but I overcome it because I thought I should learn from the students' questions. I never took it as an ego problem. I never took it that they are trying to pull me down in the front of the entire rest of the class. If I didn't know it, it was not a crime. An honest confession will be a best thing that a teacher can think of. Okay, but that is how I have been succeeding. And I'm still today, even now I am 71 years old, but I have not forgotten my subject. Touch wood, it is only thanks to God.
Very good, very good.
Thanks to my this sort of attitude. My idea is the retired teachers, if they are willing to do a service without any money payment, why should they not be employed for training, for teaching the teachers the concept, not for training? Training they have had. They can teach the concept in privacy without the students being there, because the students, they will not create a bad image about the teacher. So the teachers alone can get some sufficient resources from the already retired teachers, if it may be worth it. So you can encourage the teachers to do some Zoom recording and yourself go through it and filter it with the help of resource persons in physics or chemistry or maths or whatever it is. And if it is good enough, this can be passed on to the teachers. And if the teachers or the school principals feel it will be worthwhile taking some guidance from this particular teacher, they can call for the help from the teacher online. This is my suggestion, so that they don't have to struggle for the plan that you are making to finish the portions within 3 months. The crux nut of the entire concept should be laid before them. For that, the retired teachers can be made use of to help the teachers in the learning, not for training.
Thank you so much, Maithili madam. I think this is truly a very, very important point, and more than for the government or for our dear Nandakumar ji, I take this very personally as a message for Rotarians around India. So we are the people who can get into a faster mode of implementation.
Siri, can you take her number?
Yeah, I will follow it up. Don't worry. I've already noted the input. So this is seriously a place where Rotary bridges the gap. Of course, I would also like to listen a few words on Nandakumar ji on the Maithili's comment.
Yeah, so actually, what I spoke only about national education policy, ma'am. But you are all the talent is most welcome in Ved group. This is teachers group. They want to learn from each other, and these people don't have any limitation from learning. They are also learning from children. They want to learn from foreign countries. They want to learn from anybody. So you are most welcome. Whether government welcome your thoughts or ideas or not, our Ved group of teachers will welcome you, and if you want,
will do it.
please join us, and we would love all your expertise, ma'am. It is actually, you rightly said, it is required. We are very open to learn.
And if we do it in Tamil Nadu, we will definitely take her.
Yeah, and even in Maharashtra, Ved group, it's all WhatsApp only, no? So it doesn't have any political boundary. So
we will follow it up, Mr. Nandakumar.
Yeah,
follow it up with
sure.
And Anju Pardi has commented, we have to have trust on our students. I think that reflects what you told us.
Yeah, so
we have to have trust on our students.
Yes.
That is rightly said. That is reflecting what you said.
Yes.
They can learn on their own.
And Sunil Jogdev ji is saying Ved group based opportunity. So please come and join us.
Definitely, yes.
I request all of you, anybody wants to do anything good, please join us so that we do it in all over the country. Teachers are ready to listen to us. So that is in Chhattisgarh, they have trained about 60,000 teachers. during this lockdown period. So teachers are ready to listen to us, even without government office. So anybody has got any good thought, any expertise, they are all welcome. They can join my group and you can start serving the children in any part of the country immediately.
Mr. Nandakumar, if you see the latest comments, everybody are going along with you. They say that students can study on their own.
Yeah.
And some say that they will be better off.
So
it's a beautiful, well-energized evening, Nandakumarji. And Sai, with your permission, can we do the next proceedings?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Now we are on to the most important finale of summarizing the great evening. It is not a small subject. It is not a new subject, and it's been around all the news in all sorts of ways, especially with the social media and especially in a place from where we are, where language is very emotional to us. So, Nandakumarji, thank you so much for explaining the difference between the policy and act, and we have some clarity. The beauty is a typical bureaucrat like you with years of service and a Rotarian with years of community service, things alike beyond what we can do for ourselves. So we like to do something for the community, and that's where I see a clear connect in our understanding to see what we can do for our country and the people outside. So the 1-year syllabus in 3 months teaches us time management, which is all about what the future is going to take for the young children of today. Though, if I want to take many of us over a flashback, at least as far as I'm concerned, we studied in the years of the 1970s and 80s, where convent education was the most important system. We saw the transition straight traveling from convent education or the Christian institutions to the current scenario where there is very healthy competition, even in our own state, between the government schools and the private schools. The best of private schools have a very tough challenge with the best of government schools. So that clearly shows that the teachers training and the Service Shiksha Abhiyan are doing their duty in the yesteryears, and we will have to look beyond the local way of politicizing things. Of course, language is very close to us here, and we know that we don't want to be entrust the problem of Hindi from Chennai. We have a very close emotion on that, but that's not exactly what anybody who wants to do good for the community is looking at. We like to learn Hindi, and I have suffered when I went for Germany or China for the first time. We know how important another language is to survive in another place or look for better opportunities. So today's students will look at having more skills, more vocations in their hand. We'll look at more languages to interact with more number of people around the world. And early childhood education is a place where the basic skills are stronger, and they have the choice not to fall for the numbers. Have you done a bachelor? Have you done a master? So people will evaluate each other over skills from now. Competence matrix will be the future for the school children of today. They will not be just given salaries based on the degrees. They will be given their salaries based on their competence and skills. So the schools will take the responsibility of giving more skills and competence to the students who are lucky now, and we are the people in the past who will be watching the good job. Peer learning is something which Rotary practices. We have a lot of architects, we have a lot of consultants, we have a lot of entrepreneurs here, and peer learning and group learning is what keeps even Rotary alive, and we completely understand what importance it can do for young children right at their young age. Tamil Nadu especially is a state of technology, and I think Maharashtra leaving Bombay, we come to the, as a bureaucrat, Nandakumar ji will know and agree that we are a developed state in terms of education. And this developed state will like to partner through the Rotary clubs around. Most importantly, the most important Rotary Club of Madras is also here, committed to what Nandakumar ji can do. So my request is, we welcome you to Chennai anytime after the pandemic. We want you as our guest, and we will show you the hospitality and the schools we are connected with, so that we can take this forward in a much bigger platform and more into the delivery or implementing stage, which was what many people wanted to know. So with this, thanks to my club of Chennai Galaxy, my secretary Palani, my joint secretary Anand, my club service director Murli. I also have some recognitions from Rotarians around India. We had Rotarian Vivek Dugal from Rotary Club of Gurgaon Cosmopolitan. We had Rotarian Jayashree. We had Deepak Faraday. And then we had Prakash. We had Rotarian Suganya. Rotarian, we have Maithili, our district officer. Rotarian V. Balami, past president of Rotary Club of KK Nagar. Rotarian Deepa Pade, Rotary Club of Pune Uptown. And if I've missed some Rotarians, my sincere apologies. And we thank you all for this lovely opportunity. And before I close, I would like to just have a few words from the most important person for Rotary in Chennai. We have tonight His Excellency Honorary Consul of Armenia, also the Youth Service Director of Rotary Club of Madras, Rotarian Kumar Ishwaran. Over to you, sir. Anand, can you please unmute Kumar?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, President Giri. You've always been a rock star, and I think this is the current topic which all students really want, and you brought the right topic. Brilliant. And also, Nandakumar sir, I've been hearing you. I mean, you have such knowledge. Wonderful. I think so. The students really would benefit from your experience. We are in a very different phase of life where, I mean, from direct learning, we are on e-learning thanks to this epidemic. I think we should make best use of it. I mean, as Maithili madam also said that, I mean, there are retired teachers who can give their inputs and they could also teach to the present day teachers. Brilliant. I think this is a wonderful session, an eye-opening session. Congrats, Giri, Raj, and the members of Galaxy, Rotary Club of Galaxy for bringing this program. Giri, I always known you to be a rock star. You are a person who really brings the right programs at the right time. You've been my area chairman and was president of Roundtable India. Know your leadership qualities. Man, you're doing a great job. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really honored to be amongst all of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kumar Ishwaran. Thank you so much, Nandakumar ji. It would be a pleasure to continue our relationship.
Yes,
thank you.
Great.
And I think we could end the.
It was great. Great experience for me. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.